mess up. And the damage is what scares me the most about their lineup. I'm going for Aurora for this one.
Going for Aurora for that one. Again, the Champions Arena is ready for this. We get one last look at the lineups here, and that's a whole lot of big damn for Aurora, as I would like to say it. Plus the 2 Purifies to play against the Kalea. This is going to be a tough game for Onic Philippines. We'll see if they're able to pull it off. Once again, these picks that have come through are crucial to get your foot in the right direction in this best of 5. Remember, too, that the team that has to deal with this, well, we'll go down to the lower bracket. Let's throw it over to the casters to take us into Game 1.
Trailblazers of the new era in action. Game 1 in a best of 5. Moving forward through the upper brackets is the winner. It's Aurora versus Onic Philippines. Leo at your service here with Rockhard and Bring It Up, bring you the action. I will echo Renmar. It's very rare that we actually just agree on a draft. This is difficult for Onic to execute, even for them.
Yeah. Like, looking at the lineup itself, there are several counters which are already pretty much present, but hold on. Okay, that was close for Brusco. Going back, it's not just the Kalea that can potentially be countered out by the Purify that's in Aurora's hands, right? It's also the stacks that could come in from Kellera later on. Like, if he gets to at least land 2 and just lack 1, the moment he just either Yue or Dominic decides to pop the Purify, then that'll almost register the entire effort's useless.
I really love that you mentioned Kellera, because as much as I really do agree, hold on, Fado. Look at that. Renegade might be in trouble here, going down first blood. No ultimates yet, no shortcut or anything means he's going to go down, but Demon Kite does allow him to get a little bit of vengeance, get some of that gold back in.
Well, that was interesting. I mean, it's Onic who we've been constantly talking about as a team who might be potentially lacking in terms of early game damage or even kill potential in general, but they just really went in aggressively, trying to invade even a Fredrin jungler.
As I was about to say earlier, I feel like, yeah, I mean, I love the Aurora lineup, but you look at when you think about Kellera and you think about the Wanwan, what do you remember, right? Like, you remember that insane 1v4 maniac play that he did on his own a few years back, and you think, you know what, this guy is scary.
That's right. In the summer of 2022, this was one of Kellera's main flames, the 1-1. Personally, it's the reason why I call him the Filipino Savage, is he would play forward in your face. Now, Super Prince starting with the Crimson Beacon. First turtle up.
Oh, look at that. Beautiful engagement here coming in from Kirk, but will be slowed down a little bit. Brusco can't really do anything yet. Doesn't have the Tsunami Slam. King Kong will be getting that turtle, and they could get a bit of an edge here on the coming fight, but looks like Aurora can decide to disengage.
Rockhard, you don't even need it. Onic brute forced their way into scoring that first objective.
Yep, Kirk did a great job in managing Edward from getting out of his lane. It's not just that, it's also the way Onic Philippines were able to immediately force out the Purify from US, so he barely could position himself in a spot that would guarantee space for Aurora.
This is better though. This time, Tsunami Slam is on, and here we go with a pincer here coming in from Edward and Renegade. They're basically tanks though. Edward's a good damage, will not be usable yet on Masha. Here comes a shortcut. They're diving in on King Kong, and King Kong gets taken down.
The Sigma King falls. Now Super Prince falling back.
Oh boy, great follow-up from Aurora. Super Prince trying to get some of that HP back, but no go. It's going to be a lot of bodies in the foe here for Onic.
And they basically show us this is how you punish others. Oh, wait. There's another engage coming in from Onic. Are they going to commit? This is Demon Kite, though. He's really tanky. King Kong's going to catch up.
There we have it taken. Brusco out of range here with US. Feathered airstrike. Edward is a huge threat on the front. Look at this guy going 1v1 on Kirk here.
Oh.
If there's anything we're going to learn about that first turtle fight, is Onic can only re-engage when it's time.
Yeah.
So Onic time, that's what they're going off of, this very single-minded lineup. They can barrel through you, but only when they're ready. If Aurora comes in and says, no, you're not ready, we'll flank you, it's over.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the main pointers we had in the keys to victory earlier. It's that Aurora can potentially capitalize on all these overextended plays that Onic may potentially commit in the game, and we've seen a couple of them even in early as just 4 minutes of this game. So this is something that Onic probably has to take into consideration, because they've been forcing out a lot of reactions from Aurora, yes, but Aurora has the tools to actually punish them successfully.
How about Turtle 2? Onic having to go at it once more. King Kong starting up. Demon Kite spotted him. Brusco to the scene. How'd Renegade get back there?
Oh my goodness, Renegade out of nowhere here! Getting another kill for Edward. This time around, King Kong is gone. No more turtle retribution available here. Shortcut is still active. They could go back if they want to. They could also bring Kirk maybe, but looks like that's not going to be a thing. They're going to just whittle him down slowly, force a flicker out, and then just keep the fight going.
Why walk?
Why
That's how we
walk?
got there. Why walk? And Onic did not check that portal.
Yep, there are some crazy back and forths that are happening right now. Dominkite didn't even need to join in the fight because Aurora has the necessary damage, or just even their mere presence and dominance on zoning out Onic Philippines away from potentially contesting that turtle. So that's the first objective. Oh my goodness, I thought the concussive blast was actually gonna get it away from him.
Yep.
How tragic would that be?
That would be so...
A singular chip in the face of two members of Onic with the retribution on cooldown. That would not fly.
Which is normally, you know what, it's not a big threat, but then you are trying to force off that retribution coming in from your enemy jungler that's already big. And Renegade, he's been doing this non-stop every single time he's on the chip.
Yeah,
I like how you mentioned that.
Major flinch. That's a power play, all right? If there's anything that Onic can rely on in the face of this 4,000 gold lead Aurora's approaching, is the fact that Kelra hasn't joined any fights yet.
Yeah.
The fact that the chip has the shortcut means Dominkite has been an active part of all of Aurora's assaults. We're waiting for Kelra to get online.
Yeah. There was just this one moment, though, which happened just now, that Dominkite indeed did not decide to join. But it seems like it is indeed time for Kelra. Or, unfortunately, he might just be even forced to join in on what Onic is trying to do from this point onwards, because they're being forced to defend so many of their turrets. I liked how Rockhart did mention Renegade and how proactive he is in terms of using the chip, because he comes in at the most unexpected timings. And Onic Philippines seems like they're struggling, but they go for the engage.
Yeah, that's a beautiful engagement. Renegade will be able to still activate the shortcut, and actually was enough to keep him alive, but only for a moment. Double kill for Doming, though. That means that's going to be stacked going into that Granger. Now Demon Kite is on the jungle. Here, on a bit of a pincer maneuver. Edward! Like a bullet straight into Super Friend's going to be able to at least push him back, but no kills happening for Aurora.
Flicker forward, thunderclap. You know what? It's not even the fact that he didn't get a kill. The fact that they forced Onic back all the way is worth it.
Yeah, it's only been 7 minutes, but just look at how they're constantly invading.
This is absolute domination here. Portal is active on that shortcut, and Kirk is all alone here on the front. They can't really go near, but they will be able to take out the Hitman.
Renegade is costing them so much.
Yeah.
It's not like he didn't die recently for another 2-for-1. He respawned, came back, and then caused them more trouble.
Yeah, Onic it feels like Onic already know that they really have to deal with Renegade, which is why they tried and attempted to take him out, but it just cost them a lot more, especially as they have to consider the other damage dealers. They have to consider Yue. There's no one, essentially, who could reach the damage dealers at this point. Both Dominkite and Yue are proving to be a huge problem, and this is what you get for a glue. You get to start things front to back, or ideally in this kind of scenario, because you can't risk going in too deep. Aurora, they're the ones taking control of the entire map.
They're denying Onyx's main strength. You can't even come in. It's sadistic what Aurora's doing. You saw that last turtle, how they were saying, look, 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 turtle's at neutral, all right? Demon Kai's not even close to it. King Kong, come on, come on.
Oh,
if
full-scale denial.
Yeah, if they do that, King Kong gets punished, there comes Kirk!
And they're trying to do this. Kirk is the one trying to do the punish, and the stick gonna come in. Yue is so far away from home, though. Shortcut is active once more, but this time around, looks like a better engagement coming in from Onic, using that Tsunami Slam to isolate Renegade.
Yep.
And Kirk got away with it. So this is the first win for Onic since that first turtle.
Yeah, the shortcut was was launched right after the Yue actually used the Wings by Wings alongside Kirk with a grab. So Kirk was able to take advantage of that shortcut that was readily available. And the fact that Onic, during that team fight, were able to split up or even just zone away the damage dealers, again, courtesy of Kirk, they were able to take advantage of the entire scenario, punishing at least one member from Aurora, but this still doesn't change the fact that there exists a 6K gold lead in favor of Aurora.
All right. It's a blessing to know what's wrong. And so far, Onic has figured out that if we divide and conquer, we can cut down that lead. We can get away with 3 wins. But Aurora, they're still in the driver's seat. Gas, pedal to the metal, and look at that. Edward is not letting up. These holy shields are going to go.
That's
Yeah.
right. Just like what we saw like in the games yesterday, right? Exactly what Free Martisi has been doing. This Masha really starting to get into form.
Yep, and that Masha is on the way to a second item BOD. So imagine if actually Renegade gets to look for the perfect target with the shortcut and then just calls for Edward to try to burst him down with all the thunderclaps that are readily available. And now Onic needs to watch out for that portal near their purple buff because Renegade might decide to come in anytime, and that's exactly what they're doing right now.
It's a favored portal for Renegade. And again, how unfortunate that it's close to the Lord too.
Yeah, and Renegade can actually do it, but he's a little far from zone here. Doesn't really have that much information. They're waiting to make a big play, essentially. They don't want to be too crazy. And maybe looking at Edward. Maybe he's waiting for the call from Edward on top.
Yeah, this is a very difficult Lord dance for Onic to partake in. They don't know the steps. They got 2 left feet, and they know that Edward
there he is.
could get a split push. Clean take. Aurora scores. Nothing Onic could do.
That was a perfectly timed Y walk there for Renegade as well.
Was. They had to deal with the waves, and as much as Brusco had the information, he was just standing there in the brush right next to the portal. There was nothing they could do because there were other things that they had to deal with. Again, the waves, and you couldn't contest an objective that was already almost burst down here technically by Aurora. There's the Winter Crown pickup, by the way, as well by Demon Kite. So you could expect them to play this a little more aggressively because they can't just bait out that crossbow of Tang.
Yep. The way that Demon Kite is building this Fredrin, again, he's very comfortable with the hero, not just because the resurgence of utility junglers is he having to play this. He's used to the old Fredrin. About 2 years he had to play the Fredrin to stay on top of MLBB Sports. He's building it very efficiently. Antique Kiras, Radiant Armor, and then the aforementioned Winter Truncheon. Like, literally, he is just a wall. A walking brick house.
Yeah, he has to be the wall for Aurora at this point because Edward is literally going full damage here, or so far he's going for the damage items. And Renegade, he picked up the fleeting time, and now they might actually look for another kill.
Oh, that's a very early feathered airstrike here activated by Yue, forcing back Onic inside the base. Go Turtle for the meantime, although we have a Lord. They're doing the big defense. And it's really hard to actually get near, but at the same time, Aurora can't really touch these turrets too much as well because of the threat of the Kalea.
Yeah, how unfortunate is it that we went past 12 minutes by the time the waves were in sync and approaching their base turrets. It was very fortunate for Onic that they didn't lose a single base turret. But that was enough for Aurora to deal damage to almost all of them. And now, though...
Oh, this could be big here. Renegade getting pulled back in. Shortcut is active, but he will go down. There goes Kelra with the crossbow of Tang. But Kirk, their big front line, is now out of commission. They're going to have to back off here.
2 for 1. Again, the Hitman capable of buying so much away from the Super Famine.
Oh!
Kelra Wintertron!
Oh my goodness, that win chant was right on time. 1 second less, and that could have been it. It will stay alive for the meantime, though, and it will still allow Onic to clear.
Yep. Airstrike coming in from Yue, but they're just zoning out Onic. They don't want to go away without taking a single base turret from Onic, and there's 30 seconds before the next objective, but it's just looking very rough for Onic, considering that even when Kelra was able to dish out the crossbow of Tang earlier, and despite the presence of the Corrosion Scythe with Tonker and the Has Claws, we barely felt the damage towards the members of Aurora.
Between the 3 items, 4 that Kelra has, I'm guessing it's all utility right now.
Yeah.
Lifesteal, the attack speed, the extra farm with the Wind Talker, the Wind of Nature. Penetration. Invest in, what is this?
Malefic
Demon
Roar?
Hunter Sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should. This was a build that Benny Cutie 2 decided to offer yesterday when they were way behind up against Team Falcons. So this is exactly what's happening to Onic right now. So we definitely see the need for them to wait a little more. There's Brusco picking up the fleeting time, but I don't think he'll be able to go for any setups and attempts for now. Just look at how Aurora's managing the macro so well through Edward.
Here's what's worse. Onic's lineup isn't even really built to deal with waves. I'd put their wave clear on a scale of 1 to 10, like a 6.5.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like they also know this, right? That's why they're not even trying too hard to go for the contest on that Lord.
Oh God, Lord's inside the base. What a synchronized push by Aurora!
This is a huge push. There's just no way that you can deal with all of this. Everyone is clumped together with a big feathered airstrike from Yue, and that's gonna be it for game number 1. It's gonna be Aurora taking him out.
The defending champions seem to still have some thoughts about yesterday, and this didn't feel like a game that they were all in on.
They came from